Some people have commented on a video I made that talked about Rabbi Tovia Singer's use of what he calls a quote from the Tanakh, specifically Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 30. And the video that he created is called "Why Do Jews Practice Rabbinic Judaism?" So if you want to look that up, you can. Why do Jews practice Rabbinic Judaism? In that video, he quotes what he says is Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 30. Now the problem is that the quote that he puts up on the screen that he calls Leviticus 18:30 does not correspond to any other Tanakh that I have found online, nor does it correspond to any Christian Bible that's translated from the Hebrew into the English. So in this case, Rabbi Tovia Singer stands completely on his own. Everybody's on one side of the fence, and he's over there standing by himself on the other side of the fence saying, this is how you translate the Hebrew. He uses the expression, guard my guard, which nobody else uses. Now, I brought this up and I said, that's a problem, that he's quoting something that doesn't correspond to what anybody else is saying. That's a problem in and of itself. But to me, the bigger problem is that he's not telling us where he is getting his source material from. Now, just as a beginning to this short video, I want to say that according to the guidelines of academic integrity calls for, warrants, demands that if you're going to quote someone, then you need to provide a reference to that source. This is, as I said before, this is basic academic procedure. You must do this if people are going to take your work seriously. Like, to quote someone means you're going to copy a passage of someone else's work and you're going to credit them as the source. Now, Rabbi Tovia Singer fails to do this repeatedly. It is his continuous academic omission. He neglects to provide a reference to the work or works that he is using. Now, this is especially problematic when the materials he's using doesn't correspond or agree with any other materials that you can find. And then when you want to confirm what he's saying or what he's showing you in some academic literature, you can't do it. You can't find it, and you don't know what he's using. So that to me is a big issue. But let's look at this. Some people have said, well, they're kind of, in my opinion, guessing. They're saying, well, Rabbi Singer is using the Tanakh that Chabad uses. Now, Chabad, you can see here on the screen, is using the complete Jewish Bible with Rashi commentary. So some people have commented and said, well, I know what he's using. He's using this book. Okay, so when we look at this book, when we look at the complete Jewish Bible with Rashi commentary, and we go to Leviticus chapter 18, verse 30, we see that in fact, that's not what's being used. Because we can see that the quote provided here up on the screen says, observe my charge, which is different than what Rabbi Tovia Singer uses in his video. So no, the answer is no, he's not using that one. Now, other people say that, he's using the Tanakh. Well, I looked at, and you can see here up on the screen, you can look at 10 or so different versions of the Tanakh that I could find online, and none of these versions match what Rabbi Tovia Singer has put on his video. So the answer here again is no, he's not using any other Tanakh that I can find that would justify that what he's using is real and true and agreed upon by all the scholars around the world. Now, if someone wants to remember certain words that are translated from Hebrew into English, you would think that they would write it down. There's a lot of words to remember. Who can remember all the medical terms in a medical journal? Who can remember all the legal terms when you have to go to, you got to go to court? You got to remember, what does mens rea mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? We write these things down. So to say that Rabbi Tovia Singer, well, he doesn't have to write anything down because he's got it all in his head. He can remember every Hebrew word and how every Hebrew word in existence is spelt and how it translates into English is really hard to swallow. Especially when you find something like Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 30 doesn't correspond to anything else you can find. So you want to write these things down in a book. That's why we have the Bible. That's why we have the Old Testament. That's why we have the Tanakh. That's why people translate the original Hebrew into different languages. Arabic, Chinese, English, Albanian, Latvian, Spanish. People translate the original Hebrew into different languages so everyone else who doesn't speak Hebrew can understand the words of God. It would be insane to say that everyone on earth has to learn Hebrew in order to understand the scriptures, because we have scholars who have spent thousands of years translating the Hebrew into English. Why would everyone on earth need to learn Hebrew in order to understand the Bible? Again, this just doesn't really make any sense. Brilliant minds have gone before us. The bottom line of what I'm saying is that if you're going to speak and you're going to quote something, especially if you're going to say, these are the words of God, this is what God said, well, you would want to make sure that the words that you're being told are actually the words of God. And how do you do that? By providing a reference. You say, this is the Tanakh that I use. You can go to that Tanakh. You can open it up to Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 30. You can read it and you can say, yes, Andy, what you said is in the book. Or Rabbi Tovia Singer, what you said is in the book. It's been confirmed, validated, given credence, given weight as evidence to whatever it is you're trying to tell me. So I hope that Rabbi Tovia Singer in the future is going to provide us with the courtesy and the academic integrity and tell us from what source he is getting his material. Not to do so is diminishing his credibility. Rabbi Tovia Singer, except for those people who, blindly, and I hate to use the word blindly, but it's true, whatever he says is true. Even if he doesn't provide me with the source material that I can compare that what he said is actually in the book, I don't even need that because I trust him implicitly. I don't. In fact, I don't do that with Hardly anyone, even myself. If I remember a quote and I say, I think this is what it says, I'll go to the source material to make sure that what I am thinking it says is what it says. Anyways, I'm still waiting for the answer. Which Tanakh did Rabbi Tovia Singer use for Leviticus chapter 18, verse 30? I'm getting conflicting reports. Some people say it's the complete Jewish Bible with Rashi commentary. Some people say it's the Judaica publications. Some people say it's the Jewish Publication Society Tanakh. I have gone to all those sources. None of them agree with what Rabbi Singer said Leviticus chapter 18:30 says. End of story. I submit my case to you, the general public. And I am sure that those of you who are using logic and are not enamored by Rabbi Singer's charisma, and you're just looking at the facts, the cold, hard facts, you'll have to agree I'm right. He really would be wise to provide us with the source that he is using. And in fact, probably, and I'm saying probably, the quote that he is putting up there is going to be modified in the near future, because I just don't find it anywhere.